You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WLAK Daily News Roundup for Lake Air, 107.5 FM and 1260 AM in Amory.
For WLAK News, I'm James Kelly. A Spooner man is facing up to 3.5 years in prison after being accused of stealing his own truck from a towing company's storage lot. According to court documents, 59-year-old Eric Hansen was charged with felony retail theft on Friday. Company employees say Hansen had called about the truck at around 2:30 a.m. last Wednesday and was told he could not pick it up without an employee present. At around 4:30 p.m., Hansen allegedly took the truck without paying the over $600 fee and was quickly arrested. The Duluth Police Department is investigating after dozens of customers of a local credit union reported fraudulent activity on their cards. Authorities say a card skimming scam is to blame for customers of Members Cooperative Credit Union who were victims of the fraud. They are still working to determine which ATM locations were targeted by card skimmers and if any other banks in the area could have been affected. Officials are encouraging customers to monitor their bank accounts and report any suspicious activity as soon as possible. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources has announced fire crews will begin conducting prescribed burns across the state when weather conditions allow. According to a press release, recent snowfall has created much better conditions for the controlled burns in certain areas. The prescribed burns are meant to provide the ecological benefits of naturally occurring wildfires, while also decreasing the risk of wildfires burning out of control in the future when drier conditions return. Burn plans can be found on the DNR's prescribed burn dashboard. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers made visits to Head Start programs in Superior and Eau Claire on Monday. Programs across the state have struggled to access funding due to attempts by the Trump administration to withhold federal funding. During his visits, Governor Evers highlighted the importance of the programs, both for the kids who go on to enter the public school system more prepared and for parents who can't afford childcare. The Head Start funding issues come just weeks after Governor Evers declared 2025 as the year of the kid. State Republicans are proposing legislation they say would add more transparency to the school referendum process. One bill would require local governments and school boards to provide information about the property tax difference on a median value home on the ballot with the referendum question. Another would prevent school districts from losing state funding if a nearby district passes a referendum. School ballot referendums have become increasingly common in recent years, with more than 200 proposed in the 2024 elections. Governor Tony Evers and Attorney General Josh Kaul have announced Wisconsin has joined another lawsuit against the Trump administration. In a press release, Governor Evers and Attorney General Kaul announced the state will join a coalition of 21 other states in the legal challenge. The lawsuit accuses the Trump administration, Department of Health and Human Services, and the National Institutes of Health of unlawfully cutting federal funding that supports medical and public health research. Governor Evers called the cuts unconscionable in a statement. A spreading aquatic invasive species has been detected in a new area of Douglas County. According to county officials, the invasive zebra mussels were found in Upper St. Croix Lake for the first time since monitoring began in 2018. Zebra mussels have previously been found in Lake Superior and other smaller bodies of water in the county. Officials are again reminding residents to thoroughly clean their boats and equipment after use and allow adequate time for the equipment to dry between uses to help prevent the spread of the invasive species. A beaver dam created some dangerous road conditions in Washburn County last week. According to the Washburn County Sheriff's Office, a beaver dam that was built near Long Lake and Little Mud Lake in Birchwood caused a culvert failure last week, leading to a washout that was nearly 50 feet wide. The washout caused damage to Elver Road, forcing officials to temporarily close it to conduct repairs. Officials are also warning residents that the ice in the area is not currently safe and advise them not to use snowmobiles there for now. The Wisconsin Department of Revenue is assuring residents that the free IRS direct file system still remains a safe and secure option for this year's tax season. The program allows residents to file their federal income taxes directly with the IRS for free and is also integrated with the Department of Revenue's state tax system. Officials say the system features secure data transmission, identity verification, and is under continuous monitoring by the IRS for security threats. Residents can check their eligibility for the program on the IRS website. Funding for new electric vehicle charging stations across Wisconsin is now up in the air just days after Governor Tony Evers celebrated the first ones to open in the Northwest region. In a memo last week, Federal Highway Administration officials suspended the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program, which was used to build the charging stations in the region. The freeze could cost the state nearly $7 million that had already been approved for 15 projects. The state had planned to award roughly $22 million for 53 projects in total. For WLAK News, I'm James Kelly.
The Bucks bow to Golden State. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks losing at home to the Golden State Warriors, 125-111. Stephon Curry led Golden State with 38 points, the most he's had all season. Jimmy Butler had 20 and 9 rebounds in his second game for the Warriors since being traded from the Heat. Damian Lillard also had 38 points in the loss.
I thought we didn't execute well enough out of that, the screening, slipping, getting the guys involved that we wanted to get involved. We didn't do it consistent enough, and then, it was still a close game. Loose balls, they got to them. We allowed them to get off threes. They got a lot of shooters, and I thought they separated themselves getting threes off, second opportunities, and then obviously the turnovers. I felt like I had more turnovers than I ever had in a game today. So you're not going to win a game not valuing every possession against a team that's shooting the ball like that.
That's the Bucks' Damian Lillard. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
To no one's surprise, SNL's 50th anniversary episode is shaping up to be a star-studded event. Deadline reports that past cast members appearing will include Adam Sandler, Jane Curtin, Molly Shannon, Will Ferrell, Eddie Murphy, Lorraine Newman, and Kate McKinnon. The show will air Sunday, February 16th on NBC and Peacock. Hollywood was well represented at Sunday night's Big Spanking, also known as the Super Bowl. It's a good thing there were other things to look at aside from the game, which was a blowout from the get-go. The actual game started off with actors Jon Hamm and Bradley Cooper introducing their favorite teams and getting the crowd riled up. Throughout the course of the day, viewers saw Kevin Costner, Miles Teller, Serena Williams, and of course, Taylor Swift, who got booed. Looks like her 15 minutes are finally... Just kidding. Popular opinion says it was lopsided numbers that favored Eagles fans that were responsible for the boos, or the Trump family.
It is going to be cold today, partly cloudy with a high of around 4 above. The wind will be northwest at 5, and that'll keep the wind chill below 0 here through much of the day. Tonight, mostly cloudy, 5 below. Tomorrow, some light snow, mostly cloudy, with a high near 11. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Currently, it's 14 below 0.
That's your WLAK Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at lakeair.radio. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.